back on set. What up? What
All
up?
right. Good morning. Happy sunrise. Busy
Good day, good
breakfast.
day, good day.
Episode
I
20.
think it's like 26. I don't know.
Really? I thought it was 25.
I'm getting it mixed up again.
25, staying alive. Going with that.
Let's go, let's go.
Another beautiful day in paradise.
All right. That just sounds daunting.
It's it's getting sunnier out, so that's positive. I feel like summer is just around the bend.
Definitely is. Nice blue skies and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
Crisp air.
Let's go, let's go.
Want to jump right into it? You don't want to talk about our breakfast?
No, let's talk
The
about
breakfast
it.
is the breakfast is the breakfast. The breakfast is classic.
Pretty superb.
It should be called a busy breakfast. Like this breakfast should be renamed the busy breakfast. You know what I mean? If we had a restaurant, I'd say this is the busy breakfast.
I should have put some avocados on top of the eggs. So.
That would have been good. Healthy fats. We're learning about that. He's getting me into eating lots. eating lots of food.
No, just not starving yourself through the day.
It's girl food. Like, girls will wake up, have a nice coffee, not eat again until maybe supper time, and then have a girl lunch. That's just a girl thing. Girl things. So today I guess we're going to start off talking about life's purpose. Dun, 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 dun.
What do you think life's purpose is?
Jeez.
Is there a purpose to life?
So this is what we were watching last night. And, I think everybody feels more comfortable when they think that there's a purpose to life. Everybody's magic question or big question is always, what's the purpose of life?
Or how do I find my purpose?
Exactly. And I think kind of just like religion, like when you find a religion, it just makes you feel safe and comfortable because there's a higher power and you have something to fall back on and something to believe. And life isn't just so vast and like broad, and it has a meaning. And I think it's the same for our life. Like we want it to have a certain meaning. And I don't really know if that's the case, like what if we are just put here just to live the human life, that's it. There's really nothing else to it. Like we're overcomplicating a lot of things when maybe just get up, enjoy your day, make somebody else's day, like have a fun time, experience all of life's emotions that they have to offer, not just happiness, experience the sadness, the frustrations, and to explore the different like facets of life. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm not put here to be a certain kind of person. What do you think?
Yeah, like I think we're supposed to make our purpose in life. And I think we make that through the things that we enjoy, the things that kind of, make us smile instead of make us sad. We make our own preferences in life. And anything else, I feel like we're just thinking too deep into it. Like, I remember I was always having the thoughts of like, well, it wasn't always, but recently, just thinking like, hey, what if I explored something other than music, like in its entirety too, like, but obviously music is something that I find a lot of joy in, and it really turns my wheels, it makes me smile, and I think that's just it really. Like, of course I can go ahead and explore other things, but I think also just remembering and knowing what it's obviously a reason why I make music. It's not like somebody forced me to do it. Mm-hmm. So I think, we got to go off our interests and our preferences and just continue through life like that and not pressure ourselves. Like, I know we all want to make a lot of money. We all want to have security in a sense. We all want to look good. We all want to get rid of bad habits and have good habits. But I think the journey towards that is the beauty of life, and just experiencing, having those bad experiences so that you can go towards the good ones, and, and just not beating yourself up, I think, is the purpose of life. It's just that we're here to experience life. Like, you have a kid, you don't have a kid. I think that's probably the beauty of having a kid, is that you get to experience life fuller. That's another aspect of life that we're capable of doing. So it's just like, why not dive into that and see what that's like, and and go through those challenges so that you can come out on the other side with more experience of life.
Yeah, it's so true. I just don't want to drive myself crazy every single day for the rest of my life trying to find a purpose. And then I look back and I realize that I didn't even get to enjoy my life. And isn't that the purpose? Like, it's like by finding a purpose or looking for your purpose, you're just ignoring the main aspect of life, which is just to enjoy it. So I think, yeah, I don't want to think that I have like this one particular purpose in life anymore. I don't want to think that if I don't find it out like within the next couple of years, then I've just like wasted my whole life, you know? Like, because I think that's just like a pretty bleak existence. I want to just enjoy everything that comes to mind and comes like every opportunity that comes my way. And I really do like, obviously you want financial freedom and all this stuff. I really want to like travel more. I feel like that's when you're at your most like relaxed state and just like in your more childlike state because you just get to explore all these different foods and different cultures. Really the foods, like I would love to try a lot of different foods. That would just be nice.
I remember we said we were going to incorporate
Oh, yeah.
different breakfasts to the show.
Yeah,
We got to get on that for
we
y'all.
gotta get on that. Yeah.
And I want to also incorporate like the cooking process, even if it's just a few, like a intro snippets of today's breakfast. So I think that would be a good level up because honestly, I think that's the point of this podcast too, is to see how better we can make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How good we can make it just for our own pleasure of continuing growth and stuff. You know,
It'd be so cool if we could like eventually have breakfast around the world. You know, like we're traveling, we're having breakfast in Spain today.
now we talk.
Like that's just like next level. So it's just stuff to strive for, but not drive yourself freaking crazy for. And like on the aspect of like having kids, everybody wants to have kids so they can almost like live through them and like push their children to have the goals that they never had. And that's something nobody wants to do. You don't want to have a kid and be like, you have to do this because I never got to do this when I was a kid. And like, I really want you to experience the whole world and blah, blah, blah. Like, we were watching a show last night and he said the point of having kids isn't to raise them. You're not raising them like cattle. You're cultivating them and making them their own person. Because even though they share your DNA and they share your looks and they have similar thoughts to you, they are their own person. And it's beautiful just to raise somebody to think for themselves and to act for themselves.
Yeah, I think like for a kid, we just want to give them the right environment, give them the right tools to express themselves, and let them know that they have a voice and they can express themselves and they matter. I think it's really deeper intrinsic reasons how we should pour into our kids other than like, you need to go to school, you need to do this, you need to do that. I think like obviously you want to lead them in the right direction and make sure that they're making proper decisions to survive in the world. But I think also we need to take a step back and just think like, let's just give them that environment of encouragement. And they're smart. They're their own person. They're their own being. They're just as capable as any other human to be able to go ahead and live out their dreams. So.
Yeah, I had such a bad experience with like university, and I always feel like I would tell my kid like, you shouldn't go to school, but I don't want to say like you shouldn't go to school and then they grow up and then they they have less job opportunities and they're like, wow, thanks mom for not encouraging me to go to school. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's really just about asking them more about what they want, like, and just cultivating that. Like, just think for yourself, because I think this world just like makes you really lose that aspect or lose that capability for you to just have your own critical thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
And everybody's opinions isn't right. Like, nobody's opinion is right. Nobody knows absolutely everything. Like, everything we think we know, we don't know for sure. So we're all just really guessing. And so, I don't know, just keep everything open. Like, I think everybody needs to, myself really included, needs to stop taking everything so freaking seriously and just not just sit around and drink and fucking like smoke and do all this stuff, but like just really examine the world in a different lens and just try and enjoy it in a different lens. Really put the effort into just choosing to be happy, which I find is like the hardest freaking concept, even though it should be so freaking simple.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but even for me, like I've been dropping this album every 2 weeks, and you know, it's just to really flex my work ethic and hone on my skills and really perfect my craft. Honestly, if I really look back, like I was never doing this for, excuse me. Obviously, the outcome I would love is success and more listeners, and and to be able to help other people with my music and my journey as well. But really, I'm trying to hone my skills. I'm trying to perfect my craft. I'm enjoying the process. I'm loving it. It gets me excited to think of. I have like 4 or 5 album concepts ahead
Yeah.
already. It's not like I'm struggling to come up with what I'm gonna do next and how I'm gonna do it. It's really just I know I have all these ideas. I know I have the work ethic in me. I have the equipment that I need. So I'm just trying to use what I have at my disposal instead of taking advantage of it and looking outside for exterior like freaking go aheads and like kind of like reasons to give myself excuses. Like I know it's all within my power, and I think that's one of the biggest things too. Is like the things that are in our power to change and to do is one of the biggest. Like I think it started with me with working out. It's like you can change the way you look by exercising, and then you can change the way you think by reading and diving into different ideologies and different ways of thinking, and you can change the fact that you don't release music frequently if you just put the work in and release the music frequently. So I think we really need to just start with what we can change for ourselves and let the world be what it is. Like like and if it's as serious as you want it to be. If you want to look a certain way, then you understand that you need to put the work in to do that. And if you want to change your financial situation, let's just say like you need to put the work in to do that. You can't just sit around and complain about your environment, complain about the job offerings and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. I guess going into like what I want to do and just futuristically where I want to be at is just really I thought about it and it's quite interesting. Like I really just want to be in a place where I can make music from home and end up with offers and opportunities to leave home and make money. But basically, I can make a song, make an album, upload it, get enough streams and enough sales that I can take care of my household and my obligations and everything like that. I think that would be like that's living to me. And then being able to travel and go, you know, on leisure time and whether it's work or leisure, to be able to take my family with me. I think that's the goal for me. I don't really. I think other than that, it'd be a surplus. It'd be a freaking, even more of a blessing. But that's what I'm working towards.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the traveling aspect as well for me, like just to be able to, it doesn't have to be like every week, every month, but to be able to travel more consistently, especially in the wintertime. Jeez, I wish we could just
Yeah, leave
peace
like
out in the
five
winter
times.
times. Yeah. But to also just have like a nice, like, a nice house for me, for myself, or my family, and I've been thinking about a farm a lot lately, like a hobby farm. I think that would just be so much fun to have my own chicken so I can have my own eggs and I don't have to worry about whatever the frick the government is putting in it. And I can have my own goats, and have some goat milk and stuff like that. Just like a simple kind of life, which I really thought it was really more about the city life. But and just to be able to volunteer more and just like experience like other people and their thoughts and their opinions, like It's easy to feel kind of lonely in this world, and I feel like through volunteering and through working with other people, you can find out that like a lot of people share the same thoughts as you, and maybe you'll be able to like enlighten somebody, like through those experiences. It would just be like warm my heart if somebody was like, "You really made my day today." Like, you really made my day by saying that. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's kind of all I'm looking for. So it's about really like reaching that financial freedom, but also just like emotional freedom and stability, you know? And one way we were thinking about doing that was saving up enough money so we can buy rental properties or property to be able to rent it out, and then we would have our like maybe leverage that, have our own place, and
Another one.
exactly, and kind of keep that going. And it's obviously not like a walk in the park. We both knew that. Like first you have to save the money and then get the property, and like there's mortgages and interest rates, but there's really a whole bunch of other crazy stuff that's happening in the rental world these days
These
that
Canadians are crazy. Let's put
we
it
had
that way.
no idea about. Like you can have your two houses, and obviously that's great, but the interest rate that you buy your house at is obviously not going to stay the same. So obviously interest rates are increasing, and that's like something I really didn't overly consider, is being able to keep up with the interest rates, which is why some landlords obviously increase the rent as much as they can year per year so that they can keep up with interest rates and keep up with like maintenance and stuff like that, and have enough money to save, but also money to profit, because you're obviously trying to make a profit off of it, right? And I think
Yeah, it's an investment. You want to get back your money from the
exactly, you're not
investment.
just trying to like break even every time. Like you're trying to make something. And we learned about in Toronto specifically how some landlords are trying to get their tenants to leave the house so that they can sell their property, because they're really not making as much money as they thought they were going to. And these tenants have the right to ask for cash in order for them to leave.
Cash for keys.
Cash for freaking keys. People are asking for 100,000. Some people are settling for
This
50,000.
shit blew my mind.
Some
I ain't
people
lying.
are saying, "Hey, buy me a plot of land and I'll leave your property, no problem." And
And
this
getting away with
is
it.
happening. And some people are staying in these properties because obviously you can take it to the Ontario government board, whatever, tenant board, and put your case and then get the person that's living there evicted. But these cases, because there's so many instances of them happening, it's taking like a year and a half for some people to get their own property back.
Yeah, there's people. Okay. Put it this way. There's this one guy that the lady was asking him to leave. He ended up having 4 other tenants living in this lady's house, and by the time she got there to kick the tenants out with an eviction notice, the original renter wasn't even there. He was renting out the place for a whole year, profiting off of the place, and by the time she kicked him out, he was already gone. The other people left, and she even said like, while he tried to negotiate with her, and he said, "Okay, I'll leave. Just give me $50K." Like this shit is beyond. It blew my mind. Emily told me about it, and I was like, "Nah, that's not. It can't be.
Right?
That's impossible."
How?
But that's what the law is basically doing: is making a lawless society amongst landlords and renters, and it's not looking pretty. I don't know. I don't know what's up with Canada, honestly.
It's crazy. And these tenants aren't even paying their rent half the time. A lot of these people have stopped paying their rent. They owe these landlords like $20,000, and they're still asking for money. Like the audacity to owe somebody money, you're supposed to be out of their property, and you're asking for more money. Like that, it just doesn't even make sense. It just shows like society just doesn't really care anymore. And like on the tenant side of it, they're saying it's kind of like tit for tat. Like landlords have been increasing the rent and profiting off of this, profiting off of their money for so long that it's like, yeah, it's about time you guys got like a piece of your own medicine. But I don't really see how this is fair at all. Like, it's just like society doesn't care about anybody anymore. It is really eye for an eye. And like,
They're having these big protests, and I don't know. Like at the end of the day, it just goes to show that there's way more research needing to be done before you just go
Yeah.
and buy a property and think that you're going to rent it
Because
out to
imagine we
anybody.
like spend a year, 2 years maybe to save up all of our money, and then we buy a property and we rent it out to somebody that's completely disrespectful, that's not taking care of your property.
They're like, I'm not paying you. They stop paying like 3-4 months in. We can't get an eviction notice. And then they're like, yeah, so give me $20K and I'll be out of your hair. Like, what?
I told Chai, I think it would bring me to hurt somebody. Like,
Everybody says she'd kill someone.
well, I don't really know. Like, I just like feel like I would snap because we were reading about another story in the States where there was a person and she invited her friend. Her friend needed a place to stay, so she let her stay. And then she stopped wanting her friend to stay. She wanted her friend to leave because she wasn't paying any money. She wasn't doing anything for her, and it was just starting to be an uncomfortable situation. And she had to go to the cops in order to kick her out, and she couldn't even kick her out. She couldn't kick her friend out because her friend had stayed more than 3 days, and so that meant that she had as much right as the original owner did to live in that house. So if she were to kick all her stuff out and like push her out the door, then that person that got kicked out could sue her. Like the world doesn't really make any sense anymore. And we're seeing like crazy stories like this happen all over the world, not just in housing. We see in California, you can rob a store for up to $950 and you're going to be fine. It's just like
it's a misdemeanor, slap on the wrist. You're out the same day.
Exactly. If you even get caught, if the cops even want to come and pursue
they don't even come when they call the cops. It's basically the store managers and securities trying to fight with you not to take shit.
So it's like even owning a business has its risks. Like imagine you open up a convenience store in one of those areas and then you just get robbed every day until you're broke. It's like you really have to be careful about the business investment that you choose to go into. So that's something that we're learning and figuring out. If you want to make that like part of your goal to set you to financial freedom, that's great.
I think all in all, it just goes to show, like, stop chasing the cash. Like, I think this whole situation comes from greed and capitalism.
Yeah.
We just need to follow your heart, follow what you want to do. I remember a guy told me that in Miami, like, because I was like, yo, like, what do you do? He was doing, like, helping people with their OnlyFans or whatever. But I'm like, and he was doing it at a high level. A guy drove in a Maserati or one of them cars. It was a crazy car. I forget it right now. But what I'm trying to say is that all the people that he hung around and knew that were actually successful, they all did something that they actually was true to their heart. Even if it was Bitcoin, you could tell that motherfucker, like, really studied and loved Bitcoin type of vibe. And, like, I think it just goes to show, like, just do what you love to do. Like, don't get into real estate because you see it as a money grab.
Yeah.
Don't get into stocks because you think that you can make a quick buck. Do something that you're actually going to take your time with and that kind of keeps you excited so that when all the dips and the downfalls come, you're not discouraged. You're still focused and your heart's in the right place.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because otherwise the world's just going to eat you up, spit you out.
Exactly.
Stomp all over you.
All right, y'all. We out.
That's all we got. Enjoy your breakfast. Peace. Enjoy your life.